The day my family threw me out in the rain was the same day they stole everything from me. They called me unstable, unfit, even dangerous. But they didn't expect me to survive. And they definitely didn't expect me to come back with the truth. The rain that day didn't feel like weather. It felt like judgment. Like the sky itself had decided I was guilty of something I didn't understand. I stood behind Harrison and Cole, clutching soaked legal papers to my chest, the ink running like the fragile threads of my life. My name is Sarah Chin. And that was the day my family erased me. My phone buzzed. A message from my father. Your things are outside. Locks are changed. Don't come back. No explanation. No conversation. Just exile. I tried calling my mother. Straight to voicemail. I left a message anyway. Mom, please. I just buried Grandma today. You can't do this now, not like this. My voice cracked. They're saying I'm unstable. That I'm not capable. That I shouldn't have anything she left me. Silence answered me. Grandma Evelyn's house was supposed to be mine. Not just because of money, though yes, it was worth nearly $3 million. But because it was the only place I had ever felt safe. She saw me. Not as the difficult one. Not as the sick one. Just me. But the will said otherwise. Everything went to my brother, Marcus. The golden child. Future doctor. Family pride. The same Marcus who hadn't visited Grandma in years, until 6 weeks before she died. Funny how that works. I drove to my parents' house anyway. I don't know why. Maybe some part of me still believed this was a misunderstanding. That someone would open the door and say, "This is all a mistake." Instead, I found my life scattered across the porch. Clothes damp from the humidity. My CPA certificate lying face down in a puddle. Family photos, flipped over like they were ashamed to look at me. I just stood there. Not crying. Not screaming. Just empty. And then the memories started coming back. Not gently. Not softly. But like someone ripping open old wounds. Christmas Eve. 1999, I was 11. Church was full. Candles glowing. Choir singing. And then, darkness. A seizure hit. I remember the marble floor against my cheek. The sound of gasps. And my mother's voice cutting through everything. This is why we can't take her anywhere. Not concern. Not fear. Just embarrassment. Marcus kept singing, stepping around me like I was something spilled on the floor. That was the moment I learned something important. In my family, I wasn't a person. I was a problem. Back in the present, the front door opened. My mom stood there. Arms crossed. Face cold. Marcus worked hard for everything he has, she said. You think someone like you should manage millions? Someone like me? I repeated. A liability, she said plainly. I laughed. Not because it was funny. Because it finally made sense. That night, I ended up at a Dunkin Donuts. Because it was open. Because it was warm. Because I had nowhere else to go. I spread the will across the table, trying to make sense of something that felt fundamentally wrong. That's when she walked over. Janet. Barista. Paralegal student. The kind of person who notices when someone is breaking. You mind if I take a look? She asked gently. I nodded. She studied the document, then frowned. This isn't right. My heart skipped. What do you mean? She pointed. Dates don't match. Witness signatures are inconsistent. This could be contested. Hope. Small. Fragile. But real. Then she asked a question that changed everything. Did your brother suddenly start taking care of your grandma before she passed? I blinked. Yeah. Her expression hardened. That's a red flag. A few days later, I went to pick up my medication. Epilepsy meds. The same ones I'd been on for years. And there he was. Marcus. In his scrubs. Looking like a hero. He walked right up to the counter. "Let me handle this," he said loudly. "My sister gets confused sometimes." I clenched my jaw. Then the pharmacist spoke. "Your brother picked up medication for your grandmother last month. Said you requested it." I froze. "I didn't." She looked confused. "Lorazepam. For anxiety." My stomach dropped. I knew that drug. It didn't just calm people down. It could disorient them. Confuse them. Especially elderly patients. And suddenly, everything clicked. Grandma's confusion. Her sudden change of heart. The will. Marcus' sudden caregiving. He didn't just take the inheritance. He manufactured it. That realization didn't bring relief. It brought something darker. Rage. But rage is dangerous. Especially when people are already trying to paint you as unstable. And I learned that the hard way. I confronted him publicly. At the hospital. Big mistake. He flipped the narrative instantly. Security got involved. I was escorted out like a criminal. By the time I checked my phone, the video was already online. Unstable woman attacks medical student brother. 50,000 views. Then 100. Then more. Everything fell apart after that. My bank account got flagged. My job restructured me out. My landlord terminated my lease. Every door closed. One by one. Until I ended up sleeping in my car. In winter. In silence. That's when she found me. Detective Maria Santos. Retired. Sharp eyes. Kind voice. She didn't ask questions. She just handed me a blanket. "Get in," she said. And for the first time in weeks, someone didn't treat me like I was disposable. When I told her everything, she didn't doubt me. Not once. "People who benefit from your silence," she said, "are usually the ones creating the narrative." We started digging. And what we found was worse than I imagined. Medical records. Prescription logs. Deleted texts. All pointing to one thing. Marcus had been giving Grandma medication that impaired her thinking. Not for her health. But for control. One message said it all: 2 more weeks and the house is mine. I remember staring at that screen. Hands shaking. Because now, it wasn't just a theory. It was proof. The trial was surreal. Like watching someone else's life unfold. Experts testified. Records were presented. Truth, finally spoken out loud. And when the judge ruled, it felt like the world stopped. The will was invalidated. The original restored. The house was mine. But that wasn't the real victory. Marcus lost everything. His career. His reputation. His future. Not because I destroyed him. But because he destroyed himself. As for me, I rebuilt. Slowly. Carefully. On my own terms. I reclaimed not just the house, but my identity. My life. My voice. Today, I live in that house. Not as a victim. Not as someone who survived. But as someone who fought back. I help people now. People like my grandmother. People who don't realize they're being manipulated. Because I do. I've lived it. And sometimes, late at night, I sit by the window. Watching the world go quiet. And I think about that day in the rain. The day I lost everything. Because the truth is, that wasn't the day my life ended. It was the day it finally began. They threw me away like I didn't matter, but they forgot something important. I was never weak. I was just waiting for the truth.